Welcome back to WMAY's coverage of Glenwood Titan football, alongside now head coach David Hay. And coach, 5 wins in a row now for your team after that opening week loss. What has been the biggest thing you've seen from the guys, the biggest improvements that have gotten you to this point thus far?
We're executing better. There's times when we're tackling better and playing some better. More physical really is what we've been looking for. There's times we haven't. We've had some breakdowns. But just steady incremental improvement is what we're looking for. You know, it was rough at times week 1, and we've been trying to really improve and get ready for the end of our season. It's going to be our toughest part of our schedule, and then, of course, the playoffs.
You talk about it quite a bit, where at this point in the season, you're 2/3 through this season. A lot of those younger guys now are almost the next level. Like juniors become seniors, sophomores become juniors. That play a part of that as well?
Yeah, the young team thing's over.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of juniors, but they've played 6 weeks now, and it's time to come play and play, like you said, like seniors, and they're experienced now. They've been in games, they've been in hot games, they've been in day games, they've been in night games, they've been in close games, they've been in blowouts. So they need to use that experience to come out and show that.
Got a big game this Friday night against Rochester. As a coach, how fun is it for you to kind of match wits with a coach like Derek Leonard, where you guys are kind of going back and forth scheme-wise, trying to figure the little things out?
Yeah, well, there's always that every week, in terms of what the other team is doing. But sure, I mean, this is where you coach. You coach for the games that are games that are going to be tough games. Some of the things in games that aren't close games. That's not what you're there for. You're there to compete. And however it turns out, I'm good with that if our kids come out and compete, and our coaches, and I know they will. So yeah, these games are the most fun.
You've been playing. You talked about it a little bit last week, trying to play with a little more pace on offense. By doing that and going up against your defense, that help you guys kind of prepare a little bit for Rochester and what they do?
Yeah, I mean, our ones go against our ones for a good portion of practice, and so yeah, being able to play faster, being used to, being a little more chaotic, but still having to make your calls and get to your spots and fulfill your assignments. That experience over a long period of time. You can't just do it the week of the Rochester game. You have to do it regularly and make it part of your program.
How are you guys viewing this game? Is this a chance for you to kind of make a statement? What is your kind of viewing of this game? Is this a measuring stick game for you guys, or getting ready to prepare for the playoffs?
Yeah, I'd go more down the measuring stick kind of thing. I mean, we'll come out, and this is a good football team we're playing. I'm not really big on making statements. I don't really care I'm not really trying to say anything to anybody else except for kids in the room, coaches in the room, and we want to get better. We want to play our best game on Friday, and then the next week we want to play better than that.
If there was one thing for people to look at in the football game on Friday night, maybe on the defensive side for you guys, what's one thing you really want to see out of your ball club against that Rochester offense?
Tackle.
I should have known. I
mean, it really does come down to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously much more complicated than that. There's all kinds of things and schemes and plans that you have and things you want to execute. But it comes down to it, especially with the kind of offense they play. They put you in one-on-one situations, and we put in one-on-one situations. And if we can make it 2-on-1, we're better by fulfilling our responsibilities. Then it comes down to, are we going to tackle? So are we going to tackle more than they tackle and block more than they block?
Right.
And I make it simple sometimes, but in those things and in good games where teams are going to effectively run their schemes, it comes down to those basics.
Well, it is a simple game. You look at all the skill on the outside, but the offensive and defensive line really is what was going to dictate sometimes tempo of football games. We've talked about how well your offensive line is kind of gelled. Defensively up front, how do you feel like those guys have progressed?
They've played very well, and we've dealt with Brian Pruitt's our defensive line coach, and he's dealt with a lot of kids in and out, either through injury or just through some changes and maybe in scheme we're doing. He's had to do a lot, and they've been the steady force on our defense in terms of just consistency. They've done a great job this year. We got some experience there, certainly some older kids playing there, and like I said, it's been in and out, and so they've done a great job of anchoring that defense for us.
You know, you guys have a variety of offensive weapons. How difficult is it sometimes to make sure you incorporate everybody in the game plan and keep them engaged?
Well, you know, Coach Leonard, Coach Edgar, Coach Janke, they plan for this, and they want to get the ball in a lot of people's hands, and not just to keep the ball in people's hands, but to make the defense defend in a lot of areas, and so they've got plans to be able to get the ball in anybody's hands. You know, you're talking about the guys on the outside, Jamar out in the middle, Ted up the middle, any of those guys. We've got things on where we can get the ball in all their hands.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always. Going to be a heck of an atmosphere Friday night. We're looking forward to calling all the action. Best of luck against Rochester.
It'll be fun. Thanks, Mike.